I'm going to use this to pivot into the final question for today. And
Okay.
I asked this question earlier on another show, and I said we'd come back to it. What is the more likely scenario to happen first for Auburn this season? Does Coach Hugh Freeze say the offense isn't going well? Let me take over play calling duties in a very firm way, or does he say it's not the system, it's the QB? Let's change the quarterback. Which of those is likely to happen first for Auburn if it goes poorly? And whoever wants to jump in first to answer that
I'll
question.
let Caesar get first bite at this one.
I hate you, Mike. um,
But yeah, which is more likely to happen again, assuming it doesn't go well? Because again, I think if you're an Auburn fan, then you want it to go well, and we don't even ever have to know the answer to this question. But in the hypothetical scenario out there that it's not going well offensively, which is he more likely to do first? Change the play caller or change the person he's calling plays for?
I'm gonna have to probably go with the play caller. I'm gonna have to go with the play caller because he is one step closer to just doing it anyway. Right? It's his terminology. It's technically his offense. If things and I am convinced that Hugh Freeze will be making a lot of the play calls on game day, despite what he has said to everyone.
There you go.
So
I was thinking that that's the direction this is going to go in.
okay,
Continue, because I have a follow up question.
the argument could be made that this could happen at any given time, not necessarily when things go bad. I think Hugh Freeze has already made that change, in my opinion. Yes,
That he's going to be the primary
Yes.
play caller.
Right. So
So
he's not going to change the play calling because he's
Right.
going to be the one calling the plays.
okay, so I was actually hoping that you all would answer that question this way, right? So if it's not going well,
That's a trap.
if it's not going well, and Coach Hugh Freeze was already the guy calling plays, how does that play in the press conference when you're asked questions about who the primary play caller is? Does he have to make a public pivot to I'm going to be taking over with play calling then if it's not going well?
No, we've seen this already. What's going to happen is, guys, I had to recruit.
I was going to say that. I was
It
going to
was
say that.
busy week. I had to recruit. It was a busy week, man. We're trying to get Juju Lewis in here for you guys.
Future's
right?
bright.
So I didn't have time this week. I'm joking. Right. Year 3 is a year. Third time's a charm. Look, to answer Ike's question, how does that play out if it doesn't, right? I think that you're into the no excuses zone.
Okay.
He got the feedback last year. It didn't look good. There wasn't good messaging. This is another thing that we said in the preseason, and everybody came over to the War Report side of it by the end of the season. After that bowl game press conference, it took everybody 4 months to hear what we were saying in July about messaging from this coach. I think this coach has a messaging problem. The recruiting message seemed really negative toward the current players in the summer, in the spring.
Right.
It did. Now, look, everybody. Oh well, and then he has that bowl game press conference, and
I think sorry to cut you off, Mike. I'm gonna hand the ball back to you real shortly. Yeah. But I think what caused people to push back on when we were saying that was the fact that people found it refreshing that a head coach was being very honest and frank about things. And I think the problem with is that that's good when things are going well. But when things do not go well, that honesty can come back to bite you in the behind, which is what you guys were saying. This is going to be a problem. But continue, Mike.
Yeah. Coaches have to be politicians, and being a good politician is about knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Right? So, yes, people want honesty, but also there are just some things you don't say. You do not get in front of a camera in front of a national TV audience and say I was too busy recruiting until the week of to help with game planning. Whether that's what he meant to say, I know what he said. And we've heard it out of his own mouth say, sometimes I'm too honest. Well, if you know that, stop. Like, if you know that, just stop. We don't need that. You don't need as media,
Right.
as media, we love it. Keep talking. Never turn the microphone off. You leave it on in your house. We want to hear everything. Right?
Player.
As a fan, no thanks.
Player.
Lie to me. Tell me it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Right? Tell me it's gonna be okay. Politic. Because you know how that's going to play out, and it will be used against you in recruiting. Come on, man. Like, I hated it. I hated this. But, I tweeted that out, his quote, out after the bowl game. It went super viral. And you know who retweeted it? Lane Kiffin. You know who's going to be, these coaches are going to be using that to negatively recruit against you. So that's why it's important to get the messaging right. Because they're going to have that soundbite ready, and they're going to be like, you don't want to go play there. He's going to be hands off, and you don't even know, who's responsible for that offense. That's if I were another coach of the SEC and I'm battling Auburn for a good play, who's responsible for that offense? Because he can say whatever, but look at what he did. And then he fired the guy at the end of the year. You're not going to be able to. There's no sacrificial lamb on offense this year. Caddy's gone. Right? Montgomery's gone.
There is still one lamb left, actually. Yeah.
Who?
Marcus Davis.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if you could sacrifice him at this point. After the recruiting haul and the ESPN top 30 coaches to shape college football,
you 100% can.
Oh man, I don't know. I think that will play terribly for him.
I don't think it depends on.
So it's
how
almost
much
like, do
you
I
feel,
cut off
because
my arm
I said
or
this
do
when
I
he had
die?
his interview.
Is it kind of one of those?
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He already said in the interview with you, Mike, that, hey, man, Marcus Davis has a lot of good support. He's already set the thing out there mentally for people. Is like, it's not just Marcus. It's a collaborative effort out here. So you 100% can say, I know you guys are panicking about this, but we've got a good system of guys around him. We'll be okay. You definitely could do that.
Yeah, I understand the angle that you're putting out here. I just think it would.
That's not an angle. That's what he said.
I think that if he doing that would play terrible.
Basically,
for him. I don't think that would go well at all.
You're down bad. You're down bad.
That PR nightmare for him if he does that. If this thing doesn't go well,
if he can survive Caddy leaving, he can survive Marcus Davis leaving.
I disagree.
Well, no, I disagree, because he hired Marcus Davis, right?
Yeah, he hired Caddy too.
He retained Caddy because he was told to.
Okay, and he fired him.
Well,
he didn't fire him. Excuse me.
The reason why I would disagree, Ike, is that you're talking about a room in the running back room that is the most stable room on this entire team, and arguably you can say has been that for the past several years. Wide receiver, you're just starting to kind of turn the corner. You get rid of the guy that is bringing a little bit of stability to that room. I don't know how you can say that room is the same way after how it was when
again. You got Maurice on staff, and you've got Derek Nix on staff, who's already been a good wide receiver coach in the SEC. I think you can do this with almost no issue and still be fine.
Well, I'm not talking about whether they'll be fine or not.
I'm saying publicly they'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I think that would play terribly. That would be a bad look. And, because what he also said in that interview was, again, the mentorship of young coaches. Right. So if he's not doing well, to some extent, you own his failures because you knew where he was at when you hired him. Right. And I just don't think anybody's going to be looking. I mean, these guys would have to Perry and it's on the freshmen, by the way. Yeah. These guys would have to look absolutely awful. Like Peyton, like for Ike's scenario, Peyton's dropping dimes and these guys are just not making plays. That's the only scenario I can see where that's palatable. But if they're like just having regular freshman struggles in your offense, I think everybody's going to look everywhere else but Marcus Davis as to why the offense is struggling. So you're not going to be able to sacrifice him. The play calling will get called out before Marcus Davis is put on the hot seat.
You're talking about the public won't put Marcus Davis on the hot seat.
That's what I thought we were talking about. Yeah,
No,
I just don't.
I'm talking about what Coach Hugh Freeze would potentially do to get the hot seat smoke off of him. Is say, we're not coaching it right at wide receiver right now. Would be the messaging that would go out there during the season to kind of plant that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything he could do to get the smoke on him, bro. I think it's gonna be on him because at some point you hired him and you retained him and you decided to go another season with him. So if it's
you
not
technically you basically did a purge last year to correct the offense. If you got to purge again in year 2, it's like, bruh.
That's where I was going. Yeah. Too, like,
that's not a purge. I'm
saying
get rid of a wide receiver coach, though,
you're making someone the scapegoat for why the offense is fell in a year that you supposedly are taking more of the reins. That's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I'm saying that the statement was made that there's no scapegoat.
You're not saying that it's right. You're just saying that it's a potential play. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, man. If you're out here playing chess,
I can cut my leg off. I can cut my. You're right. I can cut my leg off. I can absolutely do that. Is it stupid?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. To me, that would be not only like cutting your leg off. That'd be like, here's my arm too, because not only am I going to do this, but I'm going to get cooked for it. I think he's going to get cooked for that.
Yeah,
and it's not going to accomplish what the purpose of scapegoating somebody is to get the heat off of you. I don't think that's what that's going to do. I think that's going to bring more heat on his head.
So here's let me further my point of what I'm saying.
By the way,
there's literally, if it doesn't go well, the heat doesn't disappear, right? Like it's not as if, but you can do something and change and say, hey, no, wait. There's one more change I could make. That's the only one left. Like what else do you do going into the 2025 season that instills confidence? Run it back with the same staff and just say, oh, we're going to get better.
Well,
no, that's all you got left. That's your last play.
That's the kind of the point we were making about like how the reason this is year 1 all over again for him is because of him. Right, this is not where you wanted to be in year 2, right? Like you wanted to be moving the conversation forward and not talking about coaching things in year 2. So remember a while ago when I was just like, if you look at this first year outside of recruiting, his year 1 wasn't any better than Harson's.
Correct, and we took flack for saying that as well.
Yeah, and I mean on paper that is the truest of true statements, right? You went 6-6. You lost to Alabama in epic fashion, and to boot, you had poor quarterback play, no quarterback development. And to boot, you had a G5 loss.
Right.
Embarrassing bowl loss. That was Harson's first year. Except for mid-season, they were talking about Harson for potential SEC Coach of the Year. And he wasn't anywhere. Sure. Remember when they were 6-2 going into that November stretch? Come on, man. Like, all I'm saying is that it was a rough year 1. And to turn this thing around, like the excuses are just going to have to go out the door. So, I don't think you can point the finger at Marcus Davis or anybody. You got to hold your hand up and be like, it's on me. That's it. We just got to do better. And
it was on me. You know what? I gave Marcus a chance. It didn't work out. But, we thank him for his contributions through the last 2 years. He's an amazing coach, and he will land on his feet.
That's not him. It's me, but it's him.
It was me. You know what? We stuck through it 2 years, and wide receivers didn't play well in year 1. He had he's been an excellent recruiter, but we need somebody who's a little bit better.
Yeah, it's like you scapegoat you, even though it's your what's your flaw? I care too much. No. I put so much I put so much faith in people.
I'm too giving.
I believe in people.
I love so hard.
I put so much faith in this guy.
Yeah, my problem is I just love too hard. I just love them until they can't stand me.
I hate when people say that BS. Shut up. I love too hard. Get out my face with that nonsense.
I know. I love these nuts. Like what?
For full episodes, make sure you head over to the War Report's YouTube channel and check out the Weekend Tailgate. Every Sunday, we're going live. Join us on the live stream at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time,